Greetings, greetings, or shall I say, Jolan True. I hope I'm audible. Let me know
Greetings.
if you can hear me.
Greetings.
Oh, echo.
Shall I say Jolan?
Gotta turn that off. Okay. Looks like everything's working. Hello, welcome. So I have been wanting to build a D'Deridex Warbird for quite some time. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. The echoes are done. Don't worry about it. They're over. It's all good. So here we are. After listening to Andrew Probert's design ideas on Trek Yards, the interview there, I came to realize there was a lot of things that he intended the D'Deridex to do, but he never actually materialized. So hopefully I'm going to be able to eventually make a video on that with my own D'Deridex 3D model. And a lot of those things, I see the D'Deridex, I think, has gotten some bad treatment after Star Trek The Next Generation. And Deep Space Nine, it was pretty much cannon fodder, a little bit in Voyager, and it's kind of been used as cannon fodder. I don't think the full glory of the D'Deridex has ever quite been realized. Also, Andrew Probert's sort of concepts are a little bit different than the studio model that was eventually built for whatever reason. And I think there are some elements of Andrew Probert's design that I can keep and maybe add a few design elements of my own, because to be fair, this ship is like 35 years old now. This design is like really old, and there are certain features that are like on the Valdor that have really cool texturing and details, all kinds of things. Maybe I can add some of those elements to my D'Deridex. So I'm going to say that the year is 2370. The Romulans are aware of the Dominion. They've seen the attack at Wolf 359 by the Borg. They're a little bit concerned by now. They know that the ships they have, and at this time they're working with the Obsidian Order, getting ready to send their mission to infiltrate Dominion space and take out the Dominion homeworld. But they're really concerned. They know that the Warbird needs an upgrade, so we're going to call this the creation of a Warbird Mark II. So hopefully I can kind of zen out and just get into this and just design like a zen sort of artist. I see we've got 23 watching. Be sure to give it a like so we can get more in. And I would love to have super chats, of course. Your donations are great, but just your company is fine as well. And I will try to read your... This is a Hangout as well as a 3D modeling session. So my fans, you guys are incredibly intelligent and fun. So I really like talking to you guys. And so let's see what we can do. So here, just looking at this, I'm pretty much just going to start from the bow and work my way back. One thing that I'm strong with is texturing. One thing I'm not as strong with is organic modeling, and this is a pretty organic model. So I'm probably going to start with some smooth geometry like spheres and things like that. I'm using Blender 3D. If anybody wants to know, Blender 3D is free. This is version 2.8, and you can learn it from top to bottom pretty much through YouTube videos, tutorials. There's so many out there. And of course, there are certain things that are good for starships, but I first learned in 3D Studio Max, and I was paying a fortune for it for a while until I came to my senses. And so now I'm good. So let's just get into it, right? So we're going to start with the beak. The beak is very rounded. I'm going to start with just a circle and go from there, or a sphere and go from there. So I'm going to add an object, add mesh. We'll go with UV sphere. And it's at the 3D cursor right now. Obviously it's really big. So I'm going to do S and bring that down a little bit. Let's also go to a ooh, that's not right. We'll go to a transparent view there. Okay, now it needs to be moved forward. So I'm going to move it forward along the Y plane. Pretty much I've already got my reference images set up here, and sometimes I'm still used to the old 3D Studio Max commands and shortcuts and whatnot. So we got to turn this sphere into a forward module, and I think we can do it. First, let's go into first of all, we can deform this and just sort of change this sphere into more of an oval. Squish it this way, and move it forward some more. So I'm going to move it forward along the Y plane. Let's pretty much get it flush with the bow of the ship. And then we will, yeah, that looks good. Now there's some things, yeah, let's bring it back, scale it back this way some more. And this is going to be a bit of a challenge getting it up, getting the shape to correspond precisely. But I'm not going to do all this through just the scaling deform, because if I do that, I'll never get it completely right. So at this point, and you can see here, if we go to the side view, yeah, let's just go up this way as well. Yep, isn't that nice? Does anybody know the name of that artist back in the 80s that would just paint, and he would be all like serene and cool with all of his paintings, and just paint something in an hour from scratch, and he was really good. I can't remember the name of the guy, but anyway, yeah, I love Romulan ships. The D'Deridex is a beautiful ship, and yeah, I don't know why maybe it's a licensing issue why the D'Deridex has not shown up on Picard. Okay, so I'm gonna go to mesh edit mode. Yeah, Bob Ross, that's the one. Bob Ross, isn't that nice? Yeah, we've got a nice little ellipsoid shape here. I can just be the Bob Ross of 3D modeling. There are no mistakes, just happy incidences, or something like that. Okay. Alright, so a good bit of this sphere is going to go away. Let's just eliminate. Whoa. No, I need to go to my select tool. There's a lot of Blender shortcuts I haven't quite learned yet. I need to learn more of them. Delete all dim faces, and let's delete all dim faces right there. Now keep in mind, guys, there's probably no way I'm going to finish this model today in this session, but hey, okay, so there's so much I can do here. Let me see if I can get away with making this beak portion first. I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these things. Get rid of those faces. Delete faces. And oh yeah, one thing that I forgot to do is make this a smoothing object. So like, let's take it out of transparent. This is not a smooth object. Let me do an F12 render and see what that looks. Yeah. So I'm going to turn on mesh smoothing. Shade smooth. I also, this is one other thing that you have to do. So you have to go to the object properties. Where is it? And you have to go to normals, and you have to turn on auto smooth here, and it sort of sets a threshold angle as far as whether that's going to be a straight edge or a smooth object. I can click on the camera to go to camera view. Ooh. See, I like using camera view for my renders, but this is all wrong. Let me go to the view mode here and select lock camera to view. See, for some reason Blender will only do a render from a camera. Yeah. And that's fine. Boom. Okay, let's see. See how that smoothing is. Oh, it's still not smooth. What? What? Why is that still not smooth? Smooth there. Get out of edit mode. It is still not smooth. Auto smooth is on. Oh, you know why? I was in edit mode, I think. There we go. I was in edit mode, so it was only selecting certain faces, not the whole thing. There we go. That's good. Okay. Alright. Okay, so back to making this beak. Back to edit mode. Back to transparent. Oh, that's not transparent, is it? Back to this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and eliminate. I like to be organized more than fast if I can. I'm going to eliminate all those faces too. First, we must eliminate the unnecessary. And then I'm thinking, sometimes, guys, I will spend a long time just looking at things and trying to figure out how I want to proceed, for better or for worse. Some modelers are just fast machine gun type modelers, and they can just, ooh, that's not right. Whoa. So I'm going to rotate this whole thing down like that. And then I'm going to move it. Some modelers are really fast and talented in that way. I'm not sure if I am one of those. I'll fix the back later. Now, I'm going to go to edge mode. I'm actually going to extrude this down. E. Oh, that's not good. Let's, yeah, constrain it along Z plane. There we go. I push Z. Alright. Let's get this down here where it's supposed to be. Also, if I'm not paying attention to your chats, I'm just concentrating on the model, but I'll look at them every now and then. What will get my attention is a super chat. Just keep that in mind. Okay. So we're starting to get the basic shape down. I guess we'll start from this angle and then work up. I'm a little bit concerned about just moving these vertices, and because if I just move these every which way, it might not come out the way I want. Let me do this. Sometimes we get going on a model and then we realize we've screwed up the whole thing and have to start completely over again. So I'm going to do something a little bit weird here. Let me select all these faces, and I'm going to strategically slice. Well, that's not right. I'm going to strategically slice up around. See, okay, so here's the challenge. This whole outer shell goes from the point of the beak all the way back to the sort of cheek here. Maybe I should just get rid of all this mess right here and work it back. I'm not sure. I like a challenge, that's alright. Alright, I'm just gonna get a feel for it. I'm just gonna go with feel right now. Just gonna go with the feel for it. I'm not gonna worry about geometry organization. I'm just gonna go for a feel for it. Just feel it. Yes, I will be making a mirror modifier later. Ooh, I can't see that. Chat's in the way. I will be making a mirror modifier for sure. I use lots of mirror modifiers. There is no way I can manipulate this whole thing altogether, but I'll get the basic shape. Usually I get the basic shape and then I'll delete one half of it and then I'll make a mirror modifier. Alright, so I'll work with it this way, I think. Go back to vertex mode, but I'm selecting from this side, I'm selecting all the vertices at once while I'm in transparent mode, right? So from here I'm selecting both sides, so that's alright. And I'll move this, sort of start forming the beak, and this is normally a very organic style of modeling. Not my specialty, but I have some experience doing it. Okay, now this needs to be more fluid. Let's fix that. Hello everybody who is just joining me. For those who don't know, I am making a D'Deridex Warbird model. There might be some geometry I need to fix here later. Ooh. You know what I also want to do? I don't know if I'm proceeding the most efficient way, but I'm just proceeding in a way as I see. Let me go to the front view. let's get this right. Let's get this right. Let's get this right. Let's get this point right. Let's get this beak right. Where's my cursor? There it is. Let's just get this correct. Shift and move that up a little more. And then move this guy down here, down a little more. I don't think I want to make a perfect crease here. I don't know. Hopefully I can narrow this entire center piece. I do want it. I don't want it sharp, you know. Let's do it that way. Let's just sort of narrow this. Narrow the rest later. Let's go take that out of transparent so I can see what I'm doing better. So what I'm going to do is take this entire center strip going up the nose, and on the Warbird itself, see if we look at it, I've got some reference images here. It is pretty sharp, but it is a little bit smooth as well. It's not a complete sharp seam here. So I don't know. You know, maybe I should do that later. I'm going to increase, no doubt I will increase the poly count. Well, thank you, Gabrielle. I am very happy to provide. But no doubt I will be increasing the poly count later, so I don't know. We'll see. Do I need this? Eh. Alright, this might be a risk, but I'm actually going to narrow this whole thing right here. Yeah, I think that's worth it. I think it's worth it. Okay. Narrow that. Let me go back to my side view. Back to transparent mode. Continue to work on this beak here. We go back to vertex mode. Grab this. I might go ahead and go to mirror mode in a minute so I don't have to worry about whether I'm actually selecting vertexes on both sides. I might actually go ahead and mirror this, make it easier on myself. And under normal circumstances, I'd be obsessed about messing up the mesh flow here, but right now I just need to get the shape correct. Ooh, and this is very weird. That's okay. Fix it later if it ends up being messed up. If it ends up being messed up, I'm pretty good at fixing things. Alright, let's see how this is turning out. Looks a little bit blocky. This needs to be more narrow. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and do the mirror modifier like somebody, Gabrielle, I think, suggested earlier. Who was it that suggested? Oops. Oh, gotta get out of move mode. Oh yeah, this looks like this thing needs to be a lot taller later. Yeah, it will be a lot taller. I'll worry about that later. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and delete half of this junk. Let's go face. And let's make sure I've done that properly. Not quite. Nope, nope, be careful. We must be cautious. This is serious stuff. The ship is going to help us through the Dominion War. We need to not make any mistakes or cut corners here. So, okay. Bam! Alright, good. Now I can mirror this since the origin of this is at 0 on the X-plane. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go in here, add modifier. I'm going to go, where is mirror? I forgot where the fuck, there it is. Okay, good. So now I can work with abandon on this. on one side and not have to worry so much. All right, have a cup of coffee. I did a lot of working out today, so I need coffee. All right, back to transparent mode. Now I may be doing this for like 2 hours nonstop. I don't know, we'll see. Sometimes if things go well, I get on a roll and I don't want to stop. Okay, let's just continue with our mesh flow. I think I can eliminate a lot of these faces and just work with these vertices here. Now I may screw up my mesh flow like I said before. I could add more. Why don't I go ahead and add an edge loop here? I love Blender's edge loop feature. You know, you could just add more geometry as you or more faces. So it's a really nice feature. Okay, that's good. And add an edge loop there. Okay, back on track here. Faster, faster, faster res, faster. Let's move faster. The Tal Shiar will not be happy if I'm behind schedule. There's a lot of things going on. There's the Dominion, there's the Borg. There's also a mysterious rift to another part of another galaxy that was found some time ago by one of our Gallant Wing class cruisers. And we're almost ready for a new expedition into that rift that Gallant Wing had found about 100 years past. So we're really looking forward to getting in there. And we're a little bit... There were some really strange reports from the commander that went through that rift about enormous space battleships, and so we're a little bit nervous about that. A D'Deridex might be able to match what they've got over there, but just to be sure, we really need to upgrade the ones that we have. And so the Tal Shiar is really on my ass to get this done. You know how they are. They really want to go and exploit new parts of the cosmos. They're very expansionist people, you know. I'm more of a Romulan Navy guy. I'm not really into this Tal Shiar business. So, you know. Okay, so this is sort of coming along. I see it does almost like a 90-degree turn here, which is cool. That might make it easy on me. That means... Well, what that means is that I'm going to have to make sure that these vertices are on track. I'll be adding more later, but yeah, it's almost like a 90-degree turn here. Eventually I'll be adding a modifier that will just greatly increase all the geometry on this, but I have to do that quite a bit later. I have to get the shape right first. Let's get rid of all this excess. Don't need that. See, once I get this front done, I can kind of extrude the rest of the structure back this way. And then here I'm probably coming pretty close to the edge of the sphere. In fact, I probably need to go ahead and delete all this junk. I'll leave some on the top. Delete faces. Some of this on the top I'll probably be using later. I probably need to move all this up eventually, because we're coming to the edge of the sphere, if we look at it from the front. Oh, the other front. That's the back. Right, let me go back. Yeah. Ooh, there is a lot to do here. Alright, so it's pretty square from this angle. So let me go ahead and just take all these vertices and move them up. It gets pretty square right about, really right about this point right here. I probably could have done this with a cylinder just almost as easily, if not more easily, than a sphere, because it's almost more kind of a squished cylinder from this side. All right, back to the front. The other front, please. Thank you. Alright, so this... Ugh. Can I scale it this way? Let's see if I can... See, by scaling... The only problem with scaling it in this manner is going to take all these vertices and take them off the 0 x-plane, which is going to cause some hecticness. But I'll worry about that in a minute. I'll worry about that in a minute. I will worry about that in a minute. I'm going to read some of your comments here. The DC Comics had a Romulan design. Looked like 2D7 hulls. Yes, I remember that. It was like a D'Deridex, except 2D7 hulls on the squished on top of each other. It was really quite strange. Okay, so now I think I just need to move this. This was all off center. I'm going to move it, and then I'm going to make sure all these center vertices... Hello, Donnie. I'm going to make sure all these center vertices are still on the 0 axis, because if they aren't, that's going to screw everything up and get it out of whack, and I'll have to do them one at a time. So I can do that from here. X needs to be on 0. How would I go about making an early 23rd century frigate? An early 23rd century frigate. Well, let's see, early 23rd. So that's going to be after the Federation is formed and after the NX class is kind of gone and done its thing. Yeah, I don't know. I would make it very old series looking, but perhaps dirtier than maybe grittier than most old series stuff. Maybe you could say that in that time they weren't as tight about keeping up their ships or keeping up their ship appearances. Who knows? I would make a very almost, if there was a way I could make like a 60s looking old series ship, or maybe even a 50s looking old series ship, but add in details and stuff that makes it look cool. Alright, so now we've got some issues going on here. Let me go back to my side view. Yeah, that would be when Kirk was sort of a kid. That would be kind of when the Kelvin was out and about. Alright, so all this is going to need to be changed. Why don't we just move it all back, hmm? Let's just do that. Yeah, the Star Trek timelines kind of correspond with actual timelines. Like, I think the cage was supposed to be 2264, so that would be 1964 or maybe 1965 our time. But you know, it was even as good as Star Trek, if not better. It was before Star Trek was the Forbidden Planet. You know, I kind of see the Forbidden Planet as the precursor of Star Trek. Imagine a remake of that thing, or maybe a digital enhancement of Forbidden Planet. Forbidden Planet was freaking amazing for its time, and creepy. Even now, it creeps me out a little bit. And I watched Forbidden Planet when I was a kid. I don't know how many of you know about Forbidden Planet, or even how many viewers I've got right now. 26. That's not bad for me. But I don't know how many of you know or have seen Forbidden Planet, but if you hadn't, I'd recommend watching it. That was before The Cage aired, and it's every bit as good as Star Trek. Maybe even a better story. So, but it would be cool to make a Star Trek ship kind of in that 1950s era, but still give it the details and stuff that would make it worthy to appear like on modern television somehow. Kind of like what I did with my Enterprise enhanced model. It still, to me, looks very 1960s, but you know, you don't have, ooh, that's wrong. You don't have the luxury of putting, I think if they could have put a bunch of details back in 1960 on it, they probably would have. And if you look at cars and jets back in that time, well, they they look a little bit more modern than what the Enterprise did, or a little bit more real, I should say, than what the Enterprise did. Now at this juncture, I'm just kind of going by instinct, guys. I'm kind of just pulling the mesh back to where it looks like it's supposed to be, and I'm not really even thinking about it. I'm just kind of doing it, for better or for worse. Sometimes overthinking it is not a good thing, but I can fix. I'm pretty good at fixing my mistakes, like I said. The challenging part will be getting all these sort of contours into the hull, which will be interesting and fun. Be a good challenge. And I know other people have made some D'Deridex models. Looks like I might have screwed something up here. Let's see, did I? Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, that's all messed up. Okay, let's get all this fixed before it goes long. What did I do? What did I do? Looks like I got I got some vertices folding over one another. Let's go to the top view. Let's just kind of give myself some room here. Boom. Boom. Isn't that nice? We'll just grab all these and we'll just get them out of the way. Just like that. Which incidentally is helping me form the rest of the hull. Ooh, let's just move this way back. Yeah. B-type Warbird is... I remember in the Defector, the Picard said to Admiral... I forgot what his name was. But he told the Admiral, are you willing to give us the information we need to defeat the B-type Warbirds that we will undoubtedly encounter? And so he said B-type Warbirds. And so they were, at least in Picard's time, one wonders if the original Warbird that Picard encountered was a B-type or it was an A-type. Alright, I really need some more geometry right here. Now, I don't want to loop cut it, I don't think, because sometimes my loop cut gives me weird... No, I can loop cut. Boom. Alright, so now I've got another... I've got more faces I can work with. Let's get back here. Whoa. There we go. Yeah, getting this to be smooth is going to be a challenge. All right, well, I'll focus on the X plane for now. X, thank you, Jesus. All right. Oh, dope. I need to do more shortcuts. You know what? G, here. G is move. G, I'm going to restrict the plane. No, let's see. G, and then I need to learn my Blender hotkeys better. No. I need to come up with the key combination for moving along a restricted plane. I need to go find that key combination and use it more. Alright, so here I've kind of got this following this contour here. And that looks like that's working. I'm going to need to improve the flow of this a little bit eventually. Alright, so that's kind of working out. This, let's see what... Yeah, alright, need to grab all this junk and get this to flow a little better. Mesh flow is important. The art of making a mesh not look blocky and with sharp curves. Now I've gotten pretty good at making... Hello, Dan, space friend. I've got pretty good at making low poly models, which is great for performance and gaming and faster render times, which is great for somebody like me who has just a little, you know, I don't have a studio computer or anything. I've got a fairly good video card. I don't have a clunker right now, but making low poly stuff and making them intelligently, but using your textures to convey a lot of your work is nice. Okay, now look, I've made this way too... I'm confused because, alright, so if we look at the front view, I've got this right. If we look at the side view, I've got this wrong. One of these reference planes is not right. What have I done? Alright, so they should all be in the same... Maybe they're... When I first got into this, I noticed one of my reference planes was not the right height. And that's going to throw me off. Connect to object mode here. Z-axis 0. Z-axis 0. They're on the right position there. Oh, thank you, Dom. G plus X, Y, or Z. Let me try that. I thought it was. Let's go to edit mode. Let me just grab a vertice. Vertice there. G. Z. Did that work? I think it did. Alright. See, my concern is once I go G, that I'm going to move and then screw it up. But no, I guess that does work. Okay. That's fine. The D'Deridex Romulan is yeah, it's like 1400 meters, right? So, you know, I'm not sure the Enterprise C actually used the same ship, actually fought the same, the same Warbird as the D'Deridex. You know, considering the surprise that Riker expressed, he said remarkable when the Warbird, the D'Deridex first appeared in the neutral zone. You'd think whatever they had back at the time of the Enterprise C, they may have known about, but they may not have. So I don't know what the deal is here. I'm a little flummoxed by the apparent... apparently I've got this too tall. I think one of these reference images is just wrong. So when in doubt, you can look at a... You kind of have to eye it. Dang, what have I done? Let me troubleshoot this issue because I don't want to get the size wrong, but apparently, you know what? I'm gonna go with the side view because I think what I'm looking at is this sort of, yeah, I'm gonna go with the side view. So it looks like I've got some fixing to do here. Back to edit mode. Let me see if I can just get rid of these vertices right now. Should be a dissolve vertices option. Dissolve, there we go. Oh, that was a bad idea. Never mind. I'm just gonna have to move it. Just gonna have to work with it. I might have screwed this up already. Alright, so let me just grab all of this. So I was going off the top reference view for the size. And I'm not sure. Okay, I think I can live with this. And I think I can make it right. I'm gonna have to grab all this stuff, make that right. Yeah, there is a dome way back there up on the wings, I think, that threw me off on the front view. And there's a sort of a dome right here that sort of threw off all my geometry. So I'm gonna squish, you know what, I can just, why don't I just scale all this down. Because once I get the geometry more or less right, it's going to be downhill for the rest. So let's see, let's fix this part. This part here looks like it might be kind of funky. but it is what it is. Oh yeah. It's a little bit funky, but it's not going to be perfect. I'll try to make it as perfect as I can. I can add an edge loop there, but let's see. Let's see. Okay. I'll just keep adjusting back. Adjusting back. Does anybody know the shortcut for select a win? Well, yeah, I know it. It's Shift spacebar, and then it's oh wait, Shift spacebar, and then select box. Shift spacebar B. I wish there was just like a quicker. I wonder if there's a way I can set up some quicker hotkeys for this thing. Because Shift spacebar B seems extravagantly excessive in my opinion. I think I'm just going to bring this back some more because that eventually is going to curve around to the hull there. In fact, pretty much right at this point it starts to, right here, it starts to go in. See you later, Smack. Yes, feel free to leave and come and go as you please. I will be here for a while. I feel like I'm going a little bit slow. But I'm trying to get this right and talk to you guys at the same time. In fact, it looks like, let me look at the model, because it looks like this is like a piece that is now, yeah, oh, weird. Because if you look at it, it's like a piece that sort of flares out on the top, on the spine, sort of flares out. That's going to be an interesting challenge. I'll worry about that later. Main thing is just getting this geometry right for the time being. I'm going to add an edge loop here and fix this. And let's continue to just move these vertices around and get them in position. It is slowly but surely coming together. This is not an art of instant gratification for sure. I see these vertices back here kind of AWOL. They're going to make my mesh look weird if I don't fix them. I think at this point I can start coming out of the side view and just kind of fix the smoothness of this whole thing. Let me get back to, let's see, turn transparency off and just start fixing it. Hi Schneeflock, seeing as this was meant to have hangers. Oh yeah, yes, shh, don't tell anybody. Yes, this was meant to have very extensive hangers according to the original Andrew Probert design. So it'll definitely be sporting something special out of those hangers. I probably will not, I mean, if I invest the time into making a Romulan fighter, that might take a while. Although the Scorpions are not that complicated as far as just a model goes. So maybe I could make them Scorpions. But I could make a really low res sort of distance model for, you know, some Romulan fighters of some type. But I have no doubt that the D'Deridex was meant to have some attack craft of some kind, you know, among a lot of other interesting things. When you say you've seen the original Warbird, what do you mean by original? You mean like the original studio model, or the original concept drawing or something like that? Perhaps that's what you mean. Okay, looking at this, I think I've more or less got a structure here. The thing that I'm concerned about is all the weird flows and you know, weird flares and things on this hull, but I think I've got the basics of it down. I need to probably clean up some of this and make this a little bit more flowy. Let's see what I can do. See, this is serving as the crease here. I can bring this down. If I don't sort of have all these more or less in line, the mesh is going to look really weird. I don't want to do that. Monsoon says, the Scorpion Fighter. Oh yeah, I could make them pretty low res. The Scorpion Fighters are small and they're not very detailed. I want to say that probably the concept itself, the original concept, Thomas, I know that Probert wanted to do a vertical wing. He wanted to make it like straight up and down, nacelle on top, nacelle on bottom, which I think is interesting, although I didn't really like it. There's some things that Probert does really well, and there's other things I'm like, huh? You want to what? But yeah, I still think Probert is probably one of the best designers, though. There's a lot of good Star Trek designers, but Probert is one of the best. He's kind of a stickler for the rules, though, as you may have seen in my video I just made. Maybe I should leave this alone. Maybe I shouldn't mess with this too much. Okay, now this here looks like this needs to come out just a little bit. Maybe this and this need to come out some. Which means this needs to come out. Let me look at it front. Let's see. Front view. Yeah, all this needs to come out a little bit. So we will do that. Let's see. Let's just grab all these right here. This is probably going to end up being a little bit of a diamond shape on these inner edges here. So let me bring these out a little more. Oh! Shift space bar, select all. I should start doing that more. G, X, out. Good. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Ooh, transparent. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What'd I do? Man. Oh, it's okay. Okay, so, yeah. Huh. I'm looking at this. I don't know if you guys see what I'm seeing right up here, but it looks like it completely. Now see, this doesn't really. It's looking like, at least from the front view, unless this is an optical illusion, which it might be, is that this bridge section stops right here, cuts off, and then it gets like a straight edge right there and continues kind of onto the spine. And maybe it does, so if you look at it from here as well. I wish I had a really high detail D'Deridex model to play with in 3D. I had a notion of going into Star Trek Online and looking at theirs. There's some on Sketchfab, but they aren't very good. So let me look at this. Yeah, it does kind of cut off here. It's not. Don't I have any more? Yeah, so it almost makes like a separate piece up here. And it gets really flat. I know what to do. I know what to do. I know what to do. Okay. Alright. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Alright, so I'm going to grab all these vertices. All these vertices. Ooh, position is weird. Okay, I'm going to copy this Z position, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this up. So grab all these vertices. No, I'm going to grab all of these vertices as I look at it. And I'm going to move them down a little bit. And then I'm going to go, oh, copy position. Then I'm going to scale that. Oh, okay. Oh, crap. Yeah. Alright, so now it looks like I've scaled it a little too much. Because now I have to move it. What happens if I just make that 0? No, that's not right. It would be really nice if I could just automatically snap the half to 0, because now I have this gap to deal with up here, but that's alright. I'll deal with the gap. Mind the gap, you see. I'll just take these vertices, put them on 0. I should have just selected them all at once. Let me go to the, let's see, do it that way so I can see what I'm doing. That on 0. The D'Deridex does look menacing indeed. It is probably, other than the Scimitar, if you consider that a Romulan ship, it's Romulan-ish. It is probably the most intimidating looking ship. Now I went back and I watched, for this project, I watched the Neutral Zone and I watched Contagion. I don't think those models were completed. They're especially the edge of the, if we go back and we look at this, there could be a lot, I don't think this is completed, but there could be a lot more detail here that sort of sticks out, and here, and also there's no apparent place for the impulse engines, which we will have to fix. So we're going to have to find a place for the impulse engines on this thing. Right, so now I've done that. Does it look like, did I do it enough is the question. Let's go from the side view and see, examine my handiwork here. Alright, well, okay. I think I got a good start there. So let me grab all these vertices. Not those, all of these. Oh, yeah, okay. I think I want to make them even more flat. Make this part even more flat and abrupt. Let's bring it forward just a bit. Down. Good. I'm wondering how flat I should make this part, like if I should make it really sharp. Alright, now I think maybe it needs to be a little more tall. Alright, all I have to do is scale it up along this plane. What if I just, it'd be kind of cool if I left it inset like that. It would be kind of cool if I did that. Yes, I saw that springtime. The D'Deridex should have been gray springtime, like the color of the old series ships. In fact, the first time we ever really see a green Romulan ship was when the Neutral Zone aired. And Andrew Probert said he saw it and he was like, "It's green. What the? They made it. They really like green. It's like Irish." All right, so this is kind of, I don't think I'm going to get it exactly like the side drawing I have here, but you can kind of see how this is looking. In fact, there's more to this than that part. Actually comes way down. It sort of is at a diagonal slant here, and it's almost sharp, but it's not quite sharp. There's definitely something going on there. It's not quite a sharp seam though. So what I can do, if I'm willing to risk it, let's just select, let's see, let's go to face mode. You know what, I'm not sure if one of you guys who knows blenders can tell me, if there is a deselect. I think there is a deselect box or region, but I have not been able to find it. Like for 3D Studio Max, it's just Alt and then deselect, and you can deselect a whole bunch. But I need to deselect all this junk, and I have to use the Shift key, which is really, really annoying. Indeed, they do have green blood. Yeah, this isn't working. Okay. I'll just start from scratch on my selects. So what I'm going to do is grab all this and this. I don't know if this is a good idea, but I'm going to tilt it all. This may be a terrible idea, but we'll see. Oh, you know what I should do, guys? I should save my work. Let me do that right now. In fact, I'm going to make multiple files. Those D'Deridex. Now I'm going to make this D'Deridex too. Ooh, let's put this in the right place. D'Deridex. Up. I have lost hours of work when not saving a few times, and then I'm going to resave as D'Deridex 2 so I can go back if I must. Alright, so I don't think I need this, this, or that. Now, don't need that. Okay, here we go. Taking some risks here. Ooh. Oh gosh. A little bit scary. Alright, so yeah, that's... See, I've got to get this. Maybe I need to... let me go to vertex mode. Maybe I need to get this plane as well and select it. Alright, let's do that. Yeah, okay, it was a risk. I think it might have been worth the risk, but there's a diagonal bend here and I'm trying to duplicate. I can fix all this mess later. Okay. Oof. Social distancing for me has been just fine because I work alone. It gets lonely sometimes. However, I am annoyed that they closed the parks at 8 o'clock here, and they also closed the gyms and the beaches. Why would you have a curfew at night and not at day? I mean, people are more likely to congregate during the day anyway. So this is all a really big mess here. I hope that let's see. I hope I'm not screwing this up. Let's see. But it annoys me that I can't go to the beach or the park because that's where I go swing my lightsabers. Like, do you see this one back here? Or this lightsaber back here? That's where I go do lightsaber stuff. So that means that, and that's fun. I like to put on my earbuds and just, okay, what did I do here? Okay, that looks good. All right. I like to put on my earbuds and just do lightsaber martial arts. It's always a blast. Play some crazy music. Tactics series. Indeed. Fluke. What the? Fluke! It's almost like bad language. I almost called you Fluck, which I guess isn't a cuss word, but... Well, thank you. I will do more tactics series for sure, definitely. I have some planned. In fact, I'm hoping, I don't know what my time, it's hard to tell, you know, what exactly sometimes I'll plan a project, I'll plan it for months, and then I end up not doing it. But, and then sometimes I'll come up with an idea. It's like, oh, that's a good idea, and I just have to do it. Like the enhanced enterprise was just an idea I came up with in less than 6 weeks ago. So it was like, I'll just do that. Same thing with the size of the enterprise model. What do you mean by commissions, Ramses? Does this have a phase cloak? I don't think this will have a phase cloak. It might be a little bit OP for you know. The phase cloak is such an OP thing. In springtime, I have certainly seen The Expanse. I love The Expanse. The Expanse is a wonderful. It's probably the best science fiction series on TV right now. Okay, as you can see, I've royally made this weird. So let's fix all that. Let's fix all that. Let's fix all that. Now I've made it. Have I made it too tall? Nah, I haven't made it too tall. Let's fix it. Fix all this stuff. You know, it's funny how this is sort of just working its way into the intended shape anyway, without much effort. Alright, so that little ridge up there is sort of coming. Let me go to object mode and see what this looks like. Interesting. Actually, I think that's going to work. I'll see if this is going to work. I've seen the Orville. I've watched everything except for the last episode of season 2. They're coming out with another season, aren't they, on the Orville, aren't they? And I'm really hoping to see it. Wait, let me go to my camera and render what I've got so far. It's starting to look like the head of a Warbird, guys. Eek, there's a lot of... Geez, what resolutions? I'm going to change the render settings a little bit. These are all... render output. Let's see, let's go. Oh, it's at 19. Let's just go 1280 by 720. I might actually go ahead. Oh, 1280 by dark. What did I do? Uh-oh. I did something. I changed percent. What is this? Okay. Alright, let's do that. Yeah, well, don't worry. I'll be adding some geometry that will smooth all this out. And I will, but it's starting to resemble the head of a Warbird. It is starting to resemble the head of an Warbird. So that's a good thing. You know, maybe I'll go to Google Images and see if I can find some more maybe not. Now this part is weird because this is gonna flare out. So like I think I've got this right. And the other thing is, like, if we look at the side, it's almost like an indentation right here is happening. It's very peculiar. No, it's not an indentation, it's a flare. It's going to flare out this way, and it's going to be really strange. Now, and the flare is going to follow the contour of this backbone. Yeah, it almost looks like a hole, but I don't think it's a hole in the picture. I think it's just shadow. So this is going to be a challenge. Let me go back to edit mode. See how I'm going to do this here. It's almost like this should be a little bit more bulbous. And then I can do that. I can add a loop cut. Let me see if I can get this in line with the rest of it though, so that my mesh flow isn't all screwed up. Alright, so this vertex here is at Z position 1.1 something. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to move all these others to the same position on the Z axis. So that these are all in line with one another. These all look like they're the same, so I can grab all of these just to keep everything a little more organized. What do you mean by commission? I want to know what that means. You mean paid work? If you mean paid work, Ramses, quite possibly. You can just email me with what you want. You can reach me at loststarships@gmail.com if you like. If you mean contract work, I am definitely open to options there. Alright. So I was going to add some more geometry. Let's add a loop cut right in there. And then, you know what, let's add another one. Add another loop cut there. We're going to follow the schematic a little bit more here. So let's grab all of these vertices. Yeah, just email me, loststarships@gmail.com. Or you can go to my website and find an email form there, resurrectedstarships.com. And I'll be happy to talk shop with you. Can you give me an idea of what you want? I'll tell you. Our proposal? Okay, cool. Hopefully it's sci-fi related. If you're gonna make me build a toothbrush for you, well, I might have better things to do. You know, if Monsoon, if you want to send me drawings, and if you want to pay me to work on some models from those drawings, I'll be happy to do it. I don't mind talking to you about that. I might even do one pro bono for you for fun if it's really good, if you have a really good design. Especially if you write some backstory for it, since you're pretty much a friend, you're a space friend. Okay, boom. Alright, so that, yeah, that looks a little more bulbous. Now the thing is, right, so there's a big flare that's coming off this thing here, and it's starting right about, ooh. You see, my model is not quite lining up with. I might have to rotate this down again, which I'm a little reluctant to do because it's not quite lining up with the schematic, but I want to get it right. So first I have to move this down. Oh, well, that's not what I want. God damn. What did I do? Oh, okay. Select box. Okay. Alright, so G, Z. Let's move this stuff down here. And then grab this. Move that down a little more. Geometry. Looks like I need to, like, a lot of these need to be moved forward. That's fine. Okay. Maybe this should be moved down some more as well. You can see where this sort of flares on this model. Aha, yeah, this is what I needed to do. Oh crap. Shift spacebar. No. Here I am trying to do a shortcut. I honestly do not like the Blender shortcuts very much. They're a little bit extraneous. Now, it could be that I'm just complaining and being bitchy and not used to them yet, but I think the 3D Studio Max shortcuts, for me at least, were a little bit easier. Right, so yeah, I didn't do this. I didn't quite follow the shape the way I should. I got the concept right, but I didn't quite follow this the way it was intended to be. This is a challenge. This is not a beginner model, to be sure. Well, hi Thomas, welcome, Mr. Beginner subscriber. This is definitely a more advanced level model, but as you can see, I've realized my mistakes here, so I'm adjusting as necessary. Yeah, that's better. All right. I think half of modeling is fixing stuff that you didn't quite do right. And, you know, there are more talented modelers that can just pop. They're just so fast. They can get, you know, they can just go and, like, you know, I'm not that kind of modeler. Not yet, anyway. I mean, there are some things I can do, but I like precision. I don't like it when things are all screwed up. I'm kind of a perfectionist in that way to a fault, but I like things to be correct and in order. I like order. That is just, I guess that's the Vulcanoid in me. You know, guys, I am part Vulcanoid. It explains a great deal of things. It explains my pompousness towards most humans, why I think I'm superior, all that kind of stuff. Dr. DMD says, I would like to see the D'Deridex refitted as a mass transport ship. Well, you know what? We're along the same lines, but not a transport ship, but something of a carrier. Which it says, to help move the populace of Romulus. Oh yeah, certainly. They could have put a lot of stuff. See, if we are following the Probert rules, though, which means of course this is a Romulan ship, but most Romulan ships do follow this rule. There must be line of sight between these two nacelles. So we can store a lot in this space as long as we have line of sight here. There's lots of room up here, there's lots of room down there. We can put more cargo. We can even put, perhaps, a cloaked ship or two. Yeah. Y'all aren't supposed to know about that. Anyway. Alright, so yeah, this is working. Okay, now I need to flare this out some. This is going to be weird. I think I need to grab, let's see, let me look at the nature of this flare on the picture. It's almost more like, it's really quite extreme. Let me look at the front. You can't really see the flare on this schematic. It's messed up. So can I see the flare from the top? It's got quite the flare on it. Let me look at one of the... Let's see. This one doesn't have that flare on it. I might not... Yeah, I'll put it on there. I don't... It's really weird. It's really strange. It's quite strange. It is on the Probert model. It starts right above the ear, and it comes out, and then it's going to form the wing back here. And this part's going to be straight. Alright. So let me find where the ear is. When in doubt, I'll follow the Probert painting. So the ear is here. Right, so there's going to be a flare that comes out right about here, which means I probably need a little more geometry right in this area to make that happen. That means a loop cut there. Maybe it doesn't. Let's see. Screw it. We'll put a loop cut there and a loop cut there. And then all right, I'm going to do something a little bit different than what I was thinking I would do. I'm going to take these faces here. This one. This one. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Whoa, not that one. This one. This one. Not that one. This one, and this one, and this one, and this one. And I'm going to extrude. But I want to make sure I extrude along XYZ out this way. Oh, what? Oh yeah, it's locked up. Oh, okay, there we go. Don't freak out, people. Don't worry. Right. And then I'm going to make this entire thing smaller. Ooh, that's not right. Ooh. Maybe like that. Then move it back. Let's see this way. It looks funky, I know. Don't worry, I'll fix it. Back this way a little more. I know it still looks funky. It looks kind of funky. I gotta make this look a little smooth. Let's get into vertex mode. Let's start here. Let's go to edge mode. There. There. Control. There. There. Alright, I'm going to make this organic. So now I need to go here, here, ugh. There, there, control there, and move that in a little more. I don't know. Okay. And this is starting to feel more like modeling a character. Oh good, I can kind of see how this is turning out over here. Now. Alright, alright, alright. Okay, so I'm going to take these edges. I've got to make this so that it will smooth out. By default on a 30 degree, if it's more than 30 degrees on the intersection, it will smooth out due to auto smooth. If it doesn't work, then I have some other tricks I can do to make this look more organic. Now I'm definitely going to add a lot more geometry to this using a smoothing algorithm. In fact, Why don't I go ahead and do that just to get an idea of what's going to happen to this model. I'm going to add a shitload of geometry here using a modifier. How many times a week do you want to strangle Blender? Oh, strangle? You mean stream? Stream? I don't know. Probably at least, I don't know. I could get into see, when I tried streaming before, I got discouraged because, you know, I would get, you know, not that many people in the to chat. Right now I've got 29 watching, right? So that's okay. But what I've come to realize over the last couple of years is that you have to build your audience almost separately for streaming. You know, I look at some of these people who stream regularly, and they have lots of people watching, and they don't really put out a lot of YouTube videos, but they're really good at streaming. And I'm better at putting out videos. I get more views from those than I do streaming. But you know, as I get it, as I do it, people will come to expect it. So perhaps I can stream more often and just be patient. I think one of my flaws is that in the artist's mind is the inability to recognize long-term progress, because I want the progress to be more immediate. Well, that's not reality. Progress does come, even if it comes slow, it comes. Okay, so what am I? I'm going to turn some more lights in here, guys. Just get up for a couple minutes. It's getting kind of dark. Lights, let there be lights. Or lightsabers, perhaps. All right. Oh yeah, I was going to do, okay, so I got sidetracked. Let me go into object mode. Let's do a subdivision modifier that will add more geometry and smooth this out. I often, let's turn this off for now. Ooh, this might not be a good idea. Let's add it anyway. I'm going to add a subdivision modifier. Actually, no. First, I'm going to save, right? First, I'm going to save. Then I'm going to do Control Z. I'm going to apply that. Then, so now I've got this actually mirrored. Now I'm going to do a subdivision surface. Is that what it was? I think so. Subdivision. Right. So you see what happens when I add this modifier. One. Everything smooths out significantly. And you can see this actually works. Now what I'm going to have to do though is go back, and I might have to force this to smooth out with the current geometry I've got. But anyway, I'm not going to apply this now. I can apply this later and it'll work out just fine. But I'm going to work with more simple geometry. So I'm going to take that, and there's my mirror modifier back. I've got to get this, I've got to get these smoothed out so that when I do apply that, this is all going to appear smooth. Either I can do it the right way. Thank you, the Fed Ock, for your $5 donations. He says, a bit of a tithe for a loyal, presumably shipwright of Romulus. The use of Romulans in Picard and New Trek in general has been a joke. You know, I thought they started out all right. I liked the they were using some Rihansu language, which I thought was really cool. I think the first 4 or 5 episodes of Romulan content was pretty good. We even see the return of the old bird of prey, the Talis class is what they call it in Star Trek Online. But after that, it kind of went weird. Like, you know, I thought Narek was okay as a villain, but there was no intimidating Romulan villain. That the chick, Narek's supposed sister, I don't think that they were blood siblings. I think perhaps sister was just a term, which would explain why they seem to be so flirty with each other. But she could have been a much better villain, and that would have been interesting. I thought the costumes were better for the Romulans than they were in the Next Generation and DS9. I hated the Romulan uniforms in the Next Generation. I thought the old series Romulan uniforms were far superior to any Romulan uniforms so far. Some of the Romulan uniforms in Picard are not bad, but you know they're not good either. But I believe that the old series Romulan uniforms are the most cool. Alright, so let me see what I can do here. This is looking, let me go back to object mode. Yeah, see, this is really harsh right here. Let me see if I can force this edit mode to be smooth. Yeah, everyone wore pajamas in the Next Generation. Indeed. Well, it's by the time season around 5, I guess, of TNG and DS9, you know, uniforms were much better in the Next Generation in general, or in Star Trek in general. But apparently Roddenberry, some of you may know this, had a preference for smooth uniforms. He thought that the uniforms of the future would be perfect, and that the people in the future, I don't know for what. Okay, so this isn't weird. This is weird. You know what I think I need to do is add a loop cut right here to give me some more geometry so I can make this smooth. I could use the cock smooth feature. Cock smooth. I could use the cock smooth subdivide, but I'm afraid I would get a lot of funky geometry in here. So let me see. Sela would have been an interesting character to show up. She's okay. I thought Tomalak was a pretty good villain as far as Romulans go. There's not a lot of great Romulan villains. And Sela was all right. I think wouldn't it have been amazing to see? I wonder how old the actor is who played Tomalak back in the Next Generation. The same one who incidentally played Jakar in Babylon 5. He might be pretty old by now. He might be getting up there. So let me get rid of this. But I thought he was, you know, the sort of brand for Romulan villains. Not quite Wrath of Khan level, but he was alright. Tomalak's actor is dead. Oh, that's a shame. Jakar was amazing in Babylon 5. I mean, he was fantastic. He was Shakespearean in Babylon 5. Seems like Tomalak is like, he was a great villain for Picard back in the old days of TNG. Alright, so how's this looking, guys? Let's go. Let's see what I can see. Object mode. It's still not smoothing out right. What am I going to do about that? I could leave it. It looks kind of cool. What can I do? Edit mode. Something. What can I do? I'm looking in my options here just to see if there's something. I mean, we've got mark sharp and mark clear. clear sharp, but you know, that's not really... I guess what I could do is go into my I don't really want to have to do this, but I may have to go into here and change where I've got the auto smooth feature on. Where is that thing? It's down here. Okay. What happens if I change this to a lower angle? Oh, that's the opposite of what I want. Let's change this to a higher angle. And see, that's starting to smooth out. Yeah. There we go. Or I could add more geometry. The less lazy way to do it is to add more geometry. Okay, so I'm going to take this auto smooth down to 50 degrees. And then I'm going to see if I can just fix my geometry so that that smooths out on its own. I think the problem is here is this sort of abrupt shift from this to this. It's kind of funky. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this edge here is still too sharp. So let's see what happens if I bring these edges out just a little more. I mean, the effect is kind of cool. I like how, I mean, there could be a straight edge there. But this is not what we want right now. I feel like I'm spending a lot of time on just this one thing. I started around 6:30. Okay, I'm only an hour and a half in, so there's some people who can do this in like an hour. But all right, so let's see how this looks. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Why don't I just take this part and it's pretty clear to me whatever edge this is right here just needs to come out more. So let me do that. Take this edge. Control. No. This edge, right? No, let's see. Yeah. This one. This is a bit of a challenge. Okay, that might have just fixed it. That might have just given me what I want. Maybe. There may be some funny business going on down here though. Let's go back to out to object mode and let's have a look. Yeah, there's some funny business going on. It's a bit of a challenge. All right. All right, so I have an idea. Okay, yeah, I think I've just done a crappy job of modeling this. Perhaps I just need to smooth this, change the position of some of these vertices just a bit. And just a bit right there. Maybe just a bit right here. I gotta be more like Bob Ross. There are no mistakes, just happy accidents. Let me see if that fit. Okay. No, it didn't quite fix it. I need to identify the offending. I think I can identify the offending vertices and make it work. Ooh, I'd like to see what your D'Deridex looks like. You might even be able to do a better D'Deridex than me. Let's see. It's just a very sharp edge here that's just not quite smoothing. It's trying, it's trying, it's trying. It is trying. Looks like I just need to come back more here, here, and here. I probably shouldn't worry about it too much over here because this is the point at which the hull begins to change. Now here, this geometry is a little bit funky. Ooh, yeah. This in a little more. There is some weird stuff going on right there. You know what? I might be changing my tactics here. Just a little bit. I'm going to move on to a different sort of area. What I think I'm going to do is maybe add a sharp seam right up in here. Well, maybe I don't have to. I don't know. If I look from here, maybe I can see where to improve this. Perhaps I babble too much. Alright. Yeah, that's actually looking better. It's actually looking a little bit better. Right. Can improve it further. Pulling this edge out. I think I might have got it. That's looking better. I think I got it. I think I got it. I shouldn't worry about trying to make it too perfect, because back here it's probably not, you know, it's gonna be pretty different. Good. Now it doesn't look exactly like the model, but it's similar. There's kind of like a flowy, almost flows to a point here. I'm looking at the Probert stuff. Let me see what happens if I do that. Ah. Well, I got my point. That's rather sharp. Maybe I'll leave it. Because if we look at, it's maybe a little too sharp. That might be too sharp. Let's see. Just grab all of these down here and we go to edge mode. grab all these things. And let's go in a little bit. That crease right there is bothering me. It's bothering me. It is a bothersome thing. I know. Let's see. This organic modeling. This organic crap. What am I, a character modeler? Starship modeler, damn it. But I have modeled low poly characters before. You know, it would be really nice if I could model characters as well as starships. Ducat. Do I feel Ducat was always wanting to beat Cisco? I think Ducat was always burned when Cisco took his office on Deep Space Nine, and he always had. I don't think he ever let that go fully. All right. All right. Let me see what happens. Go back to object mode. I'm just going to see what happens if I add the subdivision modifier to this. And go to here. Let me see if I can add it without applying the mirror. If it comes, let's see, add modifier, subdivision. Oh, I can. And then the crease disappears and everything looks the way it should be. Cool. Cool. Good. All right. Where's my modifier stack? Okay, so modifiers. Okay. Maybe I should just keep it like this. Edit mode. Because it's smoothing for me, you know, ahead of time, and now I can see kind of what it wants to do. I've learned mostly through trial and error. Monsoon, I didn't go to school for this. I actually went to school for electronic engineering, which I didn't end up using that much. And then I realized I made a mistake. And then I should have maybe gone to an art institute or something, but I didn't do that either. Anyway, long story. I learned this through trial and error for the most part. I'm going to get rid of that modifier. At least I know it does what I need it to do. And I'm going to continue on with my modeling. So, but anyway, I learned through trial and error, and I learned because I wanted to make starships. And I wanted to make the Enterprise, and I wanted to make stuff for games and game mods, all that good stuff. And I've learned a lot from people online, and I've learned a lot from people just giving me tips here and there. I don't know why I'm screwing with this part right here, but I thought I'd just bring this back just to see what, because it's folded over in the middle and it's kind of, oh look, there's some bad geometry. Maybe I should just get rid of all this. Actually, I have to start planning what I'm going to do back here and what I'm going to do in here and how I'm going to proceed, because I think I've got the basic shape of this right. So now that I have this basic shape right, I need to see how I'm going to modify it. Let me look. Right, so there's a big slit right there. I'm going to be adding. There's a big ass slit right here that's like a big triangle. Then we're going to have to add. I have to bring all of this in. The question is, should I work on those features then move back? I think I will. I'm thinking maybe as well I should apply my actually let the geometry increase take place on this and see what happens and then work from it. That's an awful lot of geometry, but if I add the subdivision now, no, before I do that, no, I'm not going to do that. Before I add the subdivision modifier, I need to close this back section off before it becomes too complicated. So let's see, how am I going to do that? So the back section. So we don't really, there are no views of what's behind this beak here. Unless we, got into a game or something like that. There's really not much there. It just looks like some straight edge lines coming out of here, which I can always add later. If I close all this off, this back section off, I can always add that junk later. So that's probably what I'll do. I'll close the back of this head off and then mark all this sharp, like a sharp edge here, and then I can or maybe I shouldn't, on the other hand, because if I do that, if I don't add the subdivision modifier now, it's not going to give me the sharp edge that I want. If I put geometry here and then add the subdivision modifier, it's going to smooth all that out. I don't want this edge to be smooth. I want it to be sharp. See? So what's going to happen, I'll show you. Well, no, I'm not going to show you. I'm going to go ahead and proceed to add the geometry. So let me go ahead and add this mirror modifier. Apply. Oh. Whoa. Apply. Right. Now, subdivision. So you can see I've smoothed this out using that modifier. Quality. I'm not sure exactly how that works. We'll just leave it at 3. Okay. Apply. Alright. So now if I go back into edit mode, you're going to see there's stupid mouse. You're going to see there's a lot more faces. But that's okay. I kind of need those faces so I can work with the detailing. Right, so even though there's a lot of faces. Okay. Why don't I go ahead and cut this in half. So I can work with the mirror image like before. Go here. Now see, the funny thing is, this is actually starting to line up with this view a little more. Right? Okay, so let's go to face mode. Grab half of these. Wow, actually did that right the first time? Looks like it. Let me go to this mode. Get rid of that. Okay, and Go back to object mode, do my mirror. Ooh, I might have deleted too much. This is all kind of funky right here. I don't like that. I don't like that, but it's the way the modifier works with it. Okay, is there anything else I... Alright, good. Boom. Alright. Let's go back to mirror. Good. Let's do a little render. The way I've got the render set up right now is pretty lame. I'll add a star background and set up the proper render later. I really prefer the cycles renderer to the... There's two renderers in Blender. There's the cycles renderer, and there is the Eevee renderer. The Eevee renderer does not render down to the photons in the same way the cycles renderer does. And the cycles renderer is much more accurate, but it takes a lot more memory and processing power to do. But there's a lot of Eevee renders that can look quite nice. Okay, let's see how many are with me. Guys, feel free to, if you haven't, if you're just joining me, feel free to give this thing a like so we can get more people in here. And we are under the gun by the Tal Shiar to build a Mark II, I call it a Mark II, but it could be a Type C or a Type D or whatever. It's not a Type B like in the next generation. This is going to be a slightly upgraded D'Deridex. I intend to eventually add the same kind of detail to the wings that you might see on a Valdor class Warbird, like in Nemesis. So this is going to be a slightly different Lost Starships at Gmail, Ramses. So this is going to be a slightly different one. Okay, so now let's start getting some of these. Let's close this off back here first. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, but I can do it. In fact, probably what we're going to do is add kind of a lip back here. But yeah, let's just get to it. First things first. We're going to make this all part of a wall. So let's grab these edges. Shift, shift. Once you grab a certain row of edges, you can just quickly do a control and it'll grab a whole line of them for you. It's a nice little feature. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to make a sharp ledge here going all the way around, sort of like the sheathing of the hull. I basically feel a need to get the back of this closed off. That's what I feel I need to do. I'm not going to do the beak yet. The beak might need some special attention, so I'm going to stop right there. Or the tip of the beak, I should say. Alright, so alright, I'm gonna extrude the edges. Ooh. X-plane. Right. Alright, so I've got my little shell here. It's like the shell of the outer hull. Sure this looks, that looks the way it's supposed to look. Good. Right, now I'm going to extrude again along the Y-plane and go in a little bit. and you can see it didn't quite see. I'm trying to make a wall there. Down here it's kind of funky, so I'm going to scale this. Ew. Yeah. Uh-huh. That'll work. That'll work. Right. Okay. Now I'm going to extrude along the X-plane again. X. Oh. Right. I will be closed. I can extrude more along here later to make that sort of these decks you see back here, which I will surely do. Ah. I'm actually kind of happy to be doing this. I saw the rules for the Enterprise video is doing pretty well. Let me see what see how it's doing. Here, right, the starships. And so normally after a video does well, I kind of take it easy and play a game. But it's at 10K views, not bad for first day for a little channel like mine. But I just really wanted to work on a model and keep going, and I figured I'd just live stream. Alright, so now we've got all this. To close this off, I'm going to have to put all of these vertices on X1, X0 actually I should say. I like type-in transforms quite a bit, so let's get all this down. So I wish I could. I wish there was a quick way to do this. 0, enter. Sort of is. If I just keep clicking, going like that. See, this is why I was reluctant to add that subdivision earlier, because it means more work when I close this off. But I decided to add the subdivision calc modifier because if I'd have done it before, you may not have seen, it might have tried to smooth out all this that I didn't want smoothed. Unfortunately, either I'm ignorant of a way to prevent that, or it's a flaw in Blender. Like in 3D Studio Max, you can set up a bunch of smoothing groups and then add a subdivision modifier or a smooth modifier to the model, and it will recognize those smoothing groups, and it won't smooth out things that you didn't intend to be smoothed. But Blender isn't quite like that. It's not a bad thing, it's just different. There's a lot of things that Blender does better than a $1,000 studio program. But yep, this is just the time, par for the course. As long as we are moving forward. I'm sure as I live stream, people will give me Blender tips that know certain tricks, which is probably one of the good reasons I should be doing this more often. The people who know Blender will come along and help me out with certain things. So perhaps this will be a regular thing. I will try it. I'll try doing it as a regular thing for a while. Besides, somebody did pay me $5, so that's something. All right. Cool. All right. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to be adding there later, but not yet. Okay, so here, I'm just going to leave this. I'm not sure exactly how I'll be maybe I could close it all off, but I might want to put something interesting down there. If you guys have any idea what would go on the back half of this beak that might be interesting, what kind of starship component might go there, I'm all ears. But right now we have some really weird things that we've got to do. Right, so let me just go. Let me go here. Go transparent. We have a big rounded sort of rectangle we've got to add right there. That's going to be funky. We have a big slit. We have a big diamond shape. Look at this. It's almost like we've got a big diamond shaped thing we need to add here. Let me look at the actual model because I'm not sure if I should trust that. That's a terrible picture. It's not very good either. Yeah, so this is going to be a challenge, right? So it's straight here, it curves there, and this whole thing just sort of curves up like that. And this is where I have to think about how I'm going to do this. I could get away with a texture map, but I don't want to do it that way. I think I want to make this kind of a higher quality model. If we were viewing it from a distance, a texture map could work, but we're going to be getting close. This is a big ship. One thing I've noticed is if you're trying to portray a big ship, it's good to get some close-up shots. Otherwise, it just seems, you know, like a small ship. But I want to be able to zoom in when I'm making my videos, you know, about here. And the texture map is just not going to give me what I want there at that level. So, right. What I could do, I could do some Boolean objects, although that's a risk. I could do some, I wonder if I can just do some knife cuts. I could, I'm gonna look at this again. Yeah, this is all one big ledge right here. I could extrude this in a way, but I have to make my edge first. I could extrude all that in a way to make it look cool. All right. So it looks to me like I think I have an idea of what to do here. I'm gonna have to do some knives, some kniving, but some knife cuts, which can end up being funky. But we'll see how it works out. Before I do that, I'm going to add a loop cut right here. I prefer doing loop cuts where I can, because a loop cut preserves the flow of my geometry. A knife cut is like, this is what a knife cut does, like that. So that may not preserve the flow of the geometry. Yeah, the navigational deflector dish is going to be this ovoid looking thing right here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to be knifing. I'm going to be doing some knifing. I wonder if I can just knife certain faces for now. So here and here. I can knife it from there to there. Alright, I think I can do this. Watch this. I can knife only that face for now. Knife. Now it's going to add a vertex, and it might not like that. Oh yeah, it went up here. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so now another knife. I don't know how this is going to turn out. This seems like a bit of a risk, but I need to have this seam here. Otherwise it's okay. Otherwise I can't make this geometry come out the way I want it. Alright, so I'm going to knife it, and then I'm going to join these vertices where, because it's not going to match up just perfect. There. There. Screw it, keep going. There. You know what? Maybe I'll just keep going like that and see what happens. There. 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 Then I'm constrain. There. Enter. Alright. You know what? This just might work. This just might work. Now. All right. Okay, so if I use the side as a reference, I can extrude this entire piece right here. And I might be able to get away with it. So, ooh, there's something else I just now noticed. There is another curve from the side that goes from here up to here. And that's going to have to be knifed to get that geometry as well. Alright, well, I'll get the front one first. Alright, so no, I can't. I have to do the side one first. 1,500 total crew. Yeah, it's about that. It's not very much for a ship of this size, actually. The Galaxy class. Yeah, the Galaxy class as well, for a ship of that size, seems to have a very small amount of people on it. I mean, the Galaxy class, if you consider carriers today that are half the size of the Galaxy class, have 5,000 people running them or more, you know, the Galaxy class does not hold a lot of people. Okay, but anyway, I digress. So I'm going to knife. I'm going to do a bunch of knifing here. Just going to go crazy with the knifing, for better or for worse. You know what? I learned something today. I didn't know I could use knife in quite this way. I'm used to doing a bunch of straight cuts with knives across the entire model. I didn't know I could use it quite like I'm doing it. That's good. It's good to learn things. Still a lot about Blender I don't know. But I just hope it's going to preserve the flow of my geometry once this is done. Now I have to move up and I can't see. Okay, good. There. 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 Oh, this is so weird. There. 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 And I'm going to stop. All right. Phew. There's even more holes here. There's a hole there, and there's a hole there, and there's a hole there. Wow. Well, how fun. Okay, let me go to this mode. I may have to cock smooth this again, because I'm worried how that's going to look. We'll try it. Alright, so this is going to... Is this going to extrude out or extrude in? I have to make a decision. I think I'll extrude out with it. So, let's see. Let's select. Wow, there's even more indentions all in through here. But to be sure, this whole thing is extruded out. Alright. It would be easier if I extruded this part. Now it's going to cause problems. Alright, I don't know. Alright, well, here's what I'll do. I'll start selecting. Let's go. I'm going to have to select all of this. See, what I intend to do, guys, I'll just give you a preview. What I intend to do. See, I've knifed all this. So what I intend to do, once I've this all selected properly, is extrude this out like that. Not going to do that yet. I just hope that these straight edges won't be that noticeable here, because if they are, it's not going to look as good. I could apply another smooth modifier if I must, but it may not recognize my sharp edges if I do that. So we'll see. I think I can extrude along normals and get away with this. But I'm going to extrude all of this first. Let's grab all that, all of this. Yes, the beak as well. All of this stuff. Whew, I'm gonna have to get me a refreshment in a minute. The great Warbird is good. I don't know. Is that how Romulans sing? We need some Romulan choir. I think maybe I'll leave that there. It's starting to look a little bit glorious. Okay, now let's see what happens. I have to do a special extrude here. I bought a new mouse and it's supposed to be better, but okay. Axis type. Let's see, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. There's some options here. Let me move my chat window. I don't know if I want to extrude along normals is what I want. All right. Uh-huh. Yes. Yes, indeed. Now, how does this look? I'm going to fix this right here later, but let me go. Yeah, it's there are jagged edges there. I'm going to get me a root beer. I'll be right back. But you can see it does look a little bit jagged there. So I'll have to devise a way to make that less jagged. I think I can. Be right back. One minute break. Okay, let me just catch up on chats. Probert's Enterprise. Probert said that the Type B Warbird was the most powerful ship the Romulans had till the Dodecazanics. I don't know what that is. The Dodecazanic. That's what Michael Spielman says. If you do the math, the Enterprise D should have 2,400 to 3,000 crew. I kind of agree. Tiberius says, what a gorgeous ship. Yeah, well, we've just started. Right, well, we've been at this for a little over 2 hours now, but we're going to continue, because why not? Give the video a like if you haven't already, and let me see how many people we got in here. I'm showing 22 right now. That's all right. People come and go as they please. That's not a bad thing. Looks like I'm pretty delayed here, but that's okay. Okay. Okay, so I concluded that this was a little bit too jagged. I think I can fix that though. It's interesting that this is, yeah, okay. I can fix it. I'm gonna go to these edges here. I wonder if I could get another loop cut and make it, nah. Alright, obviously this, I just need to smooth all this out a little bit, make it flow better. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's go to edge mode. Here I am, I'm by a mouse. It's supposed to be good and it's not that good. Just kind of get a little more flow going here. Move this chat channel. I may have to add more loop cuts to really make this flow. Actually, those two things kind of helped. Just those two movements. This one's a little bit sharp. This over here is awful. Ah. Complicated. There. Uh-oh. We have a loose edge right there. That's never good. I'm going to dissolve it. Dissolve. There we go. Loose vertexes and edges that aren't connected to anything can often cause very weird surface anomalies. Let's move that back just a bit. That's alright. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let me see what happens if we take this whole edge here. Is it? I don't know. It's kind of. I don't know, guys. I don't know what y'all think of that. Seems like it's a little too thick to me. Thinking maybe I should take the whole edge and bring it in and or bring it forward. Seems rather thick if we're looking at the model. Yeah, it's pretty thick on the model, but it's a little bit more tapered, so if that's the case, I wonder if I can get a loop cut in here. Alright, well let me do this. Let me take this entire edge and move it forward just a tiny bit. Alright, so grab that one, all these ones, these here, these there, these there, that one, all of this stuff. Just grab it all. And move forward just a, ooh, not too much. And maybe I should leave it. Perhaps I'm being too perfectionist. Not sure if I like it. I know someone's trying to call me. They can wait. I'm not sure if I like it. It's just a little bit harsh. Perhaps I'm being a little bit perfectionist, but it's just a little bit harsh. Let's see. Let me try some very precise movements here. We're at -1 point. Let's see. Let's go. What's the movement? Whoa! No. Okay. 0.05. No, that's too far. Okay. Back to where it was. One point oh 2. No. This is not going to do what I'd hoped. Yeah, this is a bad idea. because it's going to screw up my geometry there. I think I'm going to have to work with what I got. Unless I took the edge here and moved it back a little bit. I don't know. I'm not sure. Sometimes it helps to talk in an English accent when you're trying to analyze things. I'm not sure. What if we just, alright, we'll just do it manually, piece by piece. First I'm going to save. File, save as. Well, first we'll save files, save as to D'Deridex model 3. I think I'm going to manually taper that off by vertex. Vertex. It's the only way I can move those. Yeah, I don't know. We'll try that. We'll see what happens. I will start with that one and move it back just a little bit. Ugh. See, I want there to be an edge there, but I don't want it to be. I know what to do. 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 My instinct was correct, but if you want there to be an edge there, but not a harsh drop off, we can mark that edge. Let's see. Let's go first by individual. First we go. First, let's mark this sharp. Shift. This whole edge can be marked sharp. That's what we'll do first. That is what we will do first. Then I will work with the top geometry for the rest. Alright, so mark sharp. There we go. Right, now it will be quite alright to move these vertices a little bit, because that's going to stay sharp. Make this whole thing to look a little bit less abrasive. I should do this from this angle. Let's see. We don't want abrasiveness, we want a nice smooth flowing thing going on here. This harsh drop off is a little bit too much, I think. Just a little bit too much. So we will fix it. And look at the other side. See, I'm not moving them enough. Hello, Lancer. You guys have been quiet in chat. Hopefully I'm not putting everyone to sleep. Alright. Yeah, there we go. We can see the smoothing starting to take place as I move it. This is what I want. I want that to be smooth down here so that this drop off is not so abrasive. Alright, so good. Hopefully I won't be screwing up any geometry in the process, though. Anytime you move something, a vertex on a fairly mechanical structure, you do run the risk of screwing up your surfaces. So it must be done in the right proportions. Or it will be funky. We need these two vertices because if these two are buddies. But there. At least I don't have to model a Star Destroyer right now. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Fractal Sponge's website, but man, that man builds some details models. Assuming it's a man. It might not be a man. But Fractal Sponge makes the most amazing Star Wars models. He's better than me for sure. At most things. Alright, now let's see. If I go to the other side, let's see that. See, it's still. No, it's not right. It's right up to this point, and it still goes. See, if I can make it look like this the entire way down, then I would be in business. But it's not going to let me do that. Unless I move this really far back. I wish I could see the... I can see what's going on over here a little easier than I can see what's going on the other side. Maybe I should just stop being afraid and just move the things. Seem to be moving some of these so far back that I might as well merge some. Maybe not. I may have opened a can of worms. Yeah, may have. Oh. Is that? Nope. A little better. So, like, what if I just started merging all these to the next? This is the way I want it to look. Alright, well that is a challenge I'm going to have to figure out. But I think I'm almost done for tonight. As you can see, I've kind of got a good start going on. Let me go object mode. You know what? I'm going to fix all this right here while I'm thinking about it. but I am getting to a stopping point for tonight. Alright, so I'm going to delete all this. Get this closed up. And grab all these edges. Move them back to center. That's 0. Maybe out just a little. This looks a little bit weird. All right, Donnie, we'll see you later. Anyway, yeah, I'm confident I can make this work. I'm a little dissatisfied with how I've started to kind of get it to work here. It just looks really kind of abrasive, but it's not inconsolable, I guess you could say. I can smooth this out without using a modifier. I know I can, and I will. But other than that, I think it's a start. A long start, but precision is king. And if we go here, let's go here, do some renders. Add this up somewhere. Put this up on community chat or something. I'll put it somewhere. Julon True, King Peppy. I may just be working on this again tomorrow at some point, because why not? Thank you, SB Shuffle. It is still a work in progress for sure. Okay, I'm gonna end this stream, and Joel and Drew, good night. Be safe. Bye.